Upstairs, Nia coming in, but will take the hit. Eruption on the generator as well. Eruption and Qualifier. Nia does take a hit through the wall. So I don't know if that. Oh, and the dissolution value! These survivors. Deliverance from Claudette. Sprint bursting to the heart.
It's the same with these masks in the one event. She didn't get a mask either.
No!
Like,
oh, the ground!
That, yeah, oh, that was live. Look at this.
They're trying.
Pokey, nerf Nancy, man.
she's gonna get hacked, maybe.
Oh my goodness, she might just get hacked potentially. I think she does. Holy cow! I cannot believe.
They do get the spirit reset and they get the down.
Yes, they will get the survivors leaving the trial, and there's going to be the teleport with the add-on. She's right here, but Nia needs to go.
I'm live in just a second. Nope, we're going live now. Welcome back, everybody, to Champions of the Fog. My macros aren't working, so I apologize for that intro, but we're back. We got Season 7 qualifiers, and I am joined by none other than Commissioner-in-Chief himself. How you doing today, Gilspire?
Cannot complain, cannot complain. We are here for day one of season 7 of Champions of the Fog. And we are going to be seeing Sacrifice versus Cynic on the Wrecker's Yard, where we are going to be seeing Cynic's Artist against Sacrifice's Survivor team.
I'm pretty excited. Also, have you been, like, really revamping your radio voice? Like, you are in the mood today. I'm into it.
You know, just a little here and there. I have a well-rested voice from the long weekend last week, but we are jumping right on in with Ultra on the Artist, and looks like they are out on the prowl for one of these survivors.
But to say, I haven't seen an Artist in a hot minute, and immediately finding said survivor, finding this Nancy over here running into the long wall tile, and that is a mid-vault. Oh no, Nancy's in a world of hurt. They're zoned.
Yeah, they're in a bit of a tricky situation with both of these crows here, and sure enough, there is the first down of the match on the Nancy. Corrupt Invention getting disabled, and looks like we got a bit of Speedy Artist here, as that is in fact in agitation.
Outstanding, and a generator blowing up 2 boots, so that is also a Pain Res. Pain Res Agi, kind of a staple on Wrecker's Yard, it feels like. Such a good combo.
I mean, just agitation generally been seen more and more usage with our more restrictive bans on certain killers, so it makes a lot of sense. Eliza gets those Scourge hooks, and we'll have to wait and see what that looks like for the mid-chapter update coming up this next Tuesday, as Scourge hook is going to get a little bit of an overhaul.
Overhaul is an interesting way to put it, for sure. I like that it's 25% coming up, but the fact that it's only 4 hooks total is kind of a bummer. And also, man, this artist is zoning like a mastermind over here.
Yeah, honestly, doing a really good job here. They know that there's one survivor on the hill as of right now, 2 currently on different gens. Artist also setting up a crow facing the hook just in case, though I imagine this is going to be a balanced landing, but Artist going to be getting in front, and looks like they will not be able to get the hook trade, as Claudette will take the hit, and both now running to the shack.
Really good job by the survivors coordinating this attempt. Use a hit through the Nancy. There's the borrowed time hit. And now chasing at Shack. Pallet is dropped, so that's kind of a safe spot for this Nancy, but they're going to be careful. Yeah, they're going to tunnel this Nancy out into oblivion, and that's a down. Oh my goodness. This artist has the Nancy's number, I think.
Yeah, to say the least. With that being said, we're going to have to wait and see what these survivors are able to do. Do want to point out that the third perk that we are aware of is, in fact, a Call of Brine. So that is Agitation, Call of Brine, Scourge Hook, Pain Resonance, and, of course, a Corrupt Intervention. Another Scourge Hook here, too, as we do see that damage generator noise notification, or score event notification, rather. But with that being said, Artist in a really good spot here. A hook on the hill, second hook for Nancy. Gen currently regressing, only 1 gen completed. These survivors are in a world of hurt.
That's only half the story, too. Not to mention, this is an incredibly tight 3-gen. Look at the one behind the hill, the one that the Claudette was working on. They got chased off earlier. Call up Brian regressing this generator. I don't know how the survivor has finished this game. I think this is looking at 4K territory already. I'm not trying to be a pessimist, but I don't know how you break this.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to say the least. Artist trying to set up for the double hit, does not get it, narrowly dodging that one, Dire Crow. One of those things about the Crows from that far away is that's very easy to telegraph where things are.
No.
Nia kind of getting tripped up there, potentially a miscommunication between the survivors, and it looks like Nancy now going to be going back to the campfire via the entity, and sure enough, that will be the last attempt there by survivors as they do try and make some distance.
But I say, how did that happen? Nia took the hit. I thought that Claudia was going to be able to get up there, but I'm guessing Claudia was maybe not quite in the position and realizing they would get grabbed. Maybe, I mean, obviously in custom games, you're probably going to have something around 100 ping, so maybe they realized that there would have been a grab in the meantime, so maybe a good call there. Oh, no. This artist is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing exactly what the artist needs to do, which is to be patient. That's one of the biggest things that I see artists, as well as even Pyramid Heads, not doing very well, which is not being patient enough in order to get those Dire Crows, because really it comes down to survivors just trying to mind game you and faking you out, and when they do that, they get a ton of distance. But Ultra here being a very, very smart artist, to say the least, as they are going to be getting their 4th hook of this match. 3 survivors left in the match, only 2 able to do gens as of right now. Things are looking quite grim, to say the least.
Absolutely. Like, this is the gen that they were working on while Nancy was on hook, and Jake's getting chased off of it now. 2 survivors injured. They haven't finished the 2nd gen, and this one's about to get kicked with Colubride. They're going to be chased away. I don't even think it's like a matter of, like, you know, 4K here. I don't know how many gens they're going to be able to finish. Like, I thought it was going to be, you know, 1 gen remaining with that 3 gen. I don't know how they're going to be able to accomplish any more gens than this. Maybe 2?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It looks like Jake is still kind of caught back here with not many resources to speak of. Artist going to be trying to push him back into that flight path. Jake actually able to dodge, but they're in this pocket here, and another down. A snapshot there with the Dire Crows, and looks like they're going to be bringing them right to this hook right here. Don't know if it's a Scourge hook. It is, in fact. Every hook so far has, in fact, been a Scourge hook for this artist. Just doing a absolute amazing job. So I will point out, normally with the next mid-chapter update, Scourge Hook would have already been deactivated. So I'm really curious to see what the changes are, how the changes are going to affect Scourge Hook and its usage for the regular season and the remainder of qualifiers, as at this point in time, there would be no more Scourge Hooks and you'd get your 100% regression across 4 hooks.
That's a really good point, too, because we've talked about it a little bit with the changes coming up for what they mean for competitive, because, yeah, a majority of the good gen regression perks for killers are effectively getting stomped into the ground. Pain Res maybe being one of the few that maybe is possibly still usable, but with Colubride, it's getting obliterated. Overcharge, getting obliterated. We might go back to Pop Goes the Weasel for all I know. And the only thing that killers, I mean, to be fair, the healing nerf is also going to be very, very good for, you know, killers. So does it balance out in the end, I guess?
We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. But Jake going back down on the ground. Both survivors otherwise currently injured. And looks like Artist will be hooking here.
Another Pain Res.
And just every single one. And I mean, that's the power of agitation, right? If you don't need that 4th perk, agitation is just going to be such a boon for you as a killer, just guaranteeing you those Scourge hooks, even when you're halfway across the map. And looks like these fires in a world of hurt, as we are going to see another Colubrine coming in. Those Scourge hooks just chipping away at that gen time and time again. I imagine these survivors definitely a bit frustrated with the efficiency that this artist has been displaying here today.
Yeah, it's a good, again, pointing out the agitation. Oh no, Nia almost went down there. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think agitation, how far that jump's progressed. Oh my goodness, they actually got the down from the Dire Crows. Holy cow.
Yeah, a bit of an unexpected down there, but I think the artist will take it. Looks like Nia here, and this is going to mean that the Jay kind of has to make that choice of go for the pickup or go for the gen, and we'll have to wait and see what choice they make here, as artists will be going for a regular hook here, knowing that they already have another survivor down on the ground. No reason to rush things all too much. And looks like they did, in fact, go over the pickup, and a skill check miss there. Very likely a heal skill check miss, but it's close enough to the generator that it may have been a skill check miss on a gen instead. Yeah, it might have been a 7%, unfortunately, for the survivors there. And yeah, it looks like it is, but Claudette caught out of sorts here.
That timing at the long ball is down to a science for this artist. It is absolutely disgusting how efficient they are. But going back to what we said earlier about agitation, I think the agitation genuinely prevented that gen from finishing. It was really, really close. That Scourge Hook stopped it, but I don't think they would have got the Scourge Hook off without the agitation. So, yeah, using the killer, I think the least used perk of this entire thing was Corrupt Intervention, which lasted probably 15 seconds.
Yep, pretty much. I would tend to agree. It looks like Savard once again hit by those Dire Crows, going for the shotgun method here, and they will send it, but Nia still caught out in the middle of nowhere. There's the down, and I believe this will in fact be Nia's last hook of this match. Artists looking around, seeing if they can get them to another Scourge Hook, and with agitation, they can and have time to spare, leaving just the Jake and the Claudette left in this match to try and complete even one more generator would be huge for these survivors. Lest these survivors from Cynic have a very clean and easy win con of 2 generators in the following trial.
That is a nightmare scenario for a killer to try and hold on to, knowing the win condition is literally 2 generators. That's super rough, and I don't even think they can finish another gen. This killer has had so much pressure. The Scourges have all been in the same area as the generators, so Call of Ryan doing a number as well. There's the Dire Crows on the Jake. Do they get the... They do get the hit. How many hours has this person put into this killer? This is insane. These are so many good shots.
We've seen time and time again with the artists. It's very hit or miss. Either you are on point or you're kind of just, you know, flapping in the wind. But this artist here definitely not doing the latter and is just able to get down after down after down. But I will note there, since we do not see the tar and instead see the severed hands, they were able to get that cleanse just in the nick of time. But Jake's zoned out of the tile will end up going down. Do want to note that Jake is on Death Hook, which means that we will see the hatch spawn immediately after this hook here.
True.
And that Claudette could be primed and ready for a potential escape via the hatch.
It's a really good point, yeah, but the hatch is on this side. I haven't seen a survivor effectively escape from this map via the exit gates. It's just too close together generally.
Yeah, and especially if artists being able to just get information from afar, even if you were to narrowly dodge it, that killer instinct can just be such a useful tool for this artist. And so I wonder if there's going to be any way for this Claudette to make it out alive. Otherwise, it looks like we will be seeing a EGC kill here.
That does seem to be the case, and yeah, this artist has perfect line of sight to both areas. Just I haven't seen such a ruthless artist game. I don't even think I saw a ruthless artist game to this nature in Season 6. Like, this is insane. I haven't seen an artist game play like this probably since Season 4? Season 3, maybe? Like,
yeah,
this was insane.
I would tend to agree.
Oh, there's Claudette saying, you know what, let's just, let's 1v1. Game's over.
Hey, I respect it. I respect it. Always good to see a good 1v1, especially as we are considering looking at 1v1 tournaments for Fridays throughout the regular season. More information going to be released about that in the coming weeks as we do investigate that option more. But Claudette here trying their best to knock it down by the Dire Crow, making a really good choice there in taking the Dire Crow and removing its flight path. However, getting boxed out here will result in the down by the artist, pausing EGC as well. And that there will be the final hook for Claudette and Sacrifice's Survivor team.
Really, really solid game from this killer. They tried to put up a fight, but Nancy was found pretty much instantly and then downed almost instantly, followed by a Scourge Hook, and then the survivors were just zoned. Like, they tried to go for the central gens, which is a good idea in this map. You want the central gens done so that way you can possibly get a split going, and the artist denied them at every turn. Like, the survivors tried to get a leg up and were just denied every single time. It was incredible. Wow.
It really was. It was a masterclass in what you can do, to say the least.
Absolutely, but with that said, that is the first trial in the books, and I feel kind of bad for Sacrifice's killer because this is going to be a really tough match to be for them. I haven't seen a killer been able to hold up. Now, if I've seen a killer hold it to 2 gens, we've seen that before, that was insane too. That was back in Season 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, I do believe so.
That was crazy. I didn't expect them to actually hold down the fort for for holding the 2 gens, but it's happened before, and that's why we play it out. But I don't know. Cynic, all you have to do is just sit on the 2 outside gens. That's all you got to do.
Pretty much.
So, oh well. With that said, we'll be back in I'm sorry, we'll be back. We'll be Jack. We'll be jacked in the next set. We'll be back in just a moment, folks, so stay tuned for that. We'll be back in just a moment. Thank you all for watching. Again, we're getting into the Season 7 qualifiers. We got qualifiers today. We got qualifiers tomorrow. Qualifiers in the weeks to come, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching. If you don't mind sticking through these ads, it does help us out and, keeps us going on the back end a little bit. Helps supply this prize pool for these contestants that the qualifiers are going for. And we'll be back in just a moment. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, welcome back to trial number 2, set number 1 of qualifier number 1 for season 7. I got my numbers right. Okay, at some point that has to be leap, right? So like the first set of the 3rd week of the. Okay, anyway, I gotta find it.
Yes, you are correct.
At some point, we got 7 in the number this time around, so we can get leet somewhere. But with that said, we're going into trial number 2, folks. It's not gonna be too long as we are loading in. I'm wondering what killer is bringing. Oh, we are. It's an artist mirror.
It is, in fact, an artist mirror, and this could be really interesting. So for this season, for qualifier and round 1, we're seeing artist Deathslinger Huntress on Wreckers. It's going to be interesting to see if we see nothing but Artist, nothing but Huntress. It's going to be very interesting when we look back at the data. But speaking of the data, this Artist on the prowl and getting a first hit here on Vit. Now at the Shack, a really early hit and potentially an early down too if they're able to follow up with the Dire Crows.
About to say, this is very similar to the Nancy chase earlier. Oh, barely missing the Dark Crow there, and they are going to be able to get back to the CNL wall. How do they play it? However, A's ready to come in for a hit, and they're going to be breaking off Chase. Also worth noting, that's a Sloppy Butcher.
That is, in fact, a Sloppy Butcher, slowing the heels down. Potentially the Artist knowing their win condition, what they need to do, and potentially going to be going for a bit of a slug-out play.
That is very, very possible. Seeing Quentin over here taking Chase at this, what is this, just a junk tile? What is this tile called?
I don't even know at this point. There's so many different variations.
True.
It is nigh impossible to say, but take another hit. Do want to note that Vit is currently now healed, leaving just the Ace and the Quentin injured. And looks like the Artist will continue Chase, though, going into a bit of a dead zone here. Potentially a bit of a risky play, as these survivors only need to complete 2 generators in order to claim victory here in round number 1 of Qualifier number 1.
Indeed, worth noting, there is the Ace also getting a heal. It looks like survivors are taking their sweet time and resetting, making sure that this Artist is not getting the pressure they're so desperately needing here, and taking Chase into the Shack. I think Ace coming in possibly for a body block here. Quentin ducking into the corner, taking the Dire Crow. Another question is, can they follow it up, or are they going to get zoned? I think they get zoned here. Yeah.
Yeah, Artist once again being very patient there, getting it down on Ultra, the Quentin, and we do indeed see another agitation, and I imagine a Scourge hook as well, as they are bringing them to this very far hook.
Oh, so close. I think the wiggle might have actually prevented the pain res from going off in time, unfortunately for this Artist, as 1 gen has been completed 1/2 of the way to their win condition here. You see Vittorio coming in for the unhook. I don't think they were able to block this off. I think they actually get the unhook scot-free.
Yeah, I do believe this will be a clean unhook by Vit, taking it nonetheless, leaving both survivors currently injured, though Quentin with the BT in hand, and looks like the Artist will go for the tunnel out here as they are ready the Dire Crows, though Quentin just holding W for dear life as they do make their way into Shack, dropping a Shack tile.
But to say, all they need to do is finish 1 more gen, and this Artist is desperate to get that hit. Unfortunately, the Dire Crow's a little bit too late there in the setup. This is probably going to be a hit here. Well, now it's not. Wow. The W game is strong with this one. Another heal on the Vittorio, and I think this might seal the Artist fate here. I don't know how they're going to finish it. Yeah, this gen's really close to being done.
Yeah, Ace knowing that they could take the pressure off of the survivor here by just sitting on that gen, really just making that Artist make a choice, whether continue with the chase or risk the second gen being popped off and claiming a victory here for Cynic's survivor team. But with that being said, back on Ultra, but getting caught on the geometry, that is always a heartbreaking thing when you are playing the killer.
But to say, that is, I'm still surprised that occasionally we still get caught on that. Like, sometimes it's not there, sometimes it is, and I don't understand what is the reason for it. I don't get it.
I swear, Jay, just like update the map and like it moves it a pixel. And when that happens, the killer just starts getting caught on it.
Yep. Oh, and yeah, Ace on that second generator finishing it, and that will be the W there for Cynic. 3rd generator popping off. They're not going to stop. They want some outs in this game. They're not content with just the win condition here.
I mean, makes sense to me, and honestly, I am here for as we get to see some more gameplay and ideally some more survivor chases where these survivors have been doing really well in counterplaying the Artisans. This is what I was kind of saying earlier. Either you are the Ultra, where you are on point with every single Dire Crow, or you are the Artist here today, where we are seeing them kind of flap in the wind a bit. And it comes down not necessarily to the Artist, in my opinion. I think a lot of it comes down to... That was really interesting. For those of you who may have not understood what happened there, the Artist actually set up 2 Dire Crows there, and when they took the first one, that allowed them to then get down by the second. And a lot of survivors, if you're noticing, will hug up to a window when there is a Dire Crow in there to purposely take the swarm, basically robbing the Artist of the ability to down you or injure you. But because they set up 2, it insta-downed them in that moment.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm glad I'm not the only one that was like, wait, what just happened there? That was That was very cheeky, and honestly, something mechanically I've never seen done before by an artist.
Well, I think in most gameplay, in most like pub matches, that's not really going to be relevant, right? Because most survivors are not purposely going to be grabbing the swarm. But in comp, that is a common tactic, so it makes a lot of sense.
It really does. I like that a lot. I'm wondering if we ever see artists again, if that might be something that's picked up. Again, we don't see artists too often in comp every now and then anyway anymore, especially not since they were released. They seem to have gone down in pick rate. But I want to see if we'll see more of that. That was really cool. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, really cool mechanics, really cool way of utilizing the artist's power. And yeah, as I was saying, I don't think, realistically speaking, the strength of the artist comes from the player. Obviously, some of it does. There are mechanical parts that the artist has available to them, knowing what tiles and when to use the power, and the timing of using the power in the fight path. But honestly, the survivors have a lot of control on how they play around the artist, knowing the flight path of the crows and so on. And these survivors have just been doing such a good job. So I want to point out here, artists doing a really good job, seeing some really cool, innovative gameplay here from them. But these survivors just putting so much pressure on the killer.
Absolutely. However, Ace possibly in a situation where they might get downed. If they play this absolutely perfectly. Oh, and they left the tile altogether. Good read there from the Ace. And now artists again kind of split between the generators. That gen that Ace was on has actually got a decent amount of progress from what I could hear on it as well. So we may be seeing this 5th generator pop momentarily.
Yeah, and we saw that Vit there did take a swarm, but was on a gen as well. So very likely that Vit will continue on that gen now. Ace with a double back there on the LT while pushing themselves into the corner. A potential adrenaline in hand as they seem pretty confident here in just extending the chase more and more. But artists with the Bloodlust will get the M1 down here.
But I say, are we going to see... Okay, no adrenaline on this survivor. I was kind of expecting the same thing. The way they were hugging this wall, waiting for the down, like, you know, take the down, immediately pop adrenaline, back up, but it's not going to be the case. It looks like we might be seeing a 2K here from the killer.
Yeah, it does appear that way. We'll see if the survivors get a little bit bold, knowing that they've already gotten their win condition. But looks like we found the Vit here, and looks like they are going to be trying to make their way back into the map. Not going to be holding out hope here for the Nancy, as they will, in fact, actually going to be going to Nancy's exit gate, I think. We do hear the exit gate open, and now comes down to how many survivors will escape via the exit gate, though Vic kind of throwing this artist for a bit of a loop. I'm not even sure where they went.
I think they doubled back briefly, and there you go. We see it at the exit gate. Yeah, they made their way back around. Really well done from the pathing. I didn't see them for a little bit either, but regardless, Cynic will be taking the W here in set trial number 2, securing the set and moving to the next one. We don't know who will be playing against, correct?
We don't know off the top of our heads, so we will have to wait and find out. Keep an eye out on the title of the stream, as we will be updating that as soon as we know. But with that being said, that there will wrap up round number 1 of Qualifier number 1. Congratulations to Cynic for taking the W here and getting a 1-0 record so far in this qualifier. With that being said, we are going to be setting up for the next lobby here as soon as possible. So stick on with us as we will be getting the next match set up here shortly. But with that being said, I am going to be dropping off as far as being a co-host here today, so you'll be seeing more of Rue and, of course, our lovely Avi, who will be joining you shortly.
I'm pretty excited for it. It's good to start off season with you and throwing it right back into the driver's seat. We got Avi coming in. I'm super excited for that, but thank you for sticking with me for this first, how do you say, we christened the qualifiers together?
We did indeed. So appreciate being here as always, and thank you all for watching here today. We'll be back in just a few short moments with more Champs of the Fog. As always, you, the viewers, are our sponsors. So the ads that you watch, all the bits that you tip, all the subs that you buy, and of course all the Rogue Energy you buy using the code COTF is supporting Champs of the Fog and the prize pool for Group A and Group B. With that being said, we'll be back in just a little bit.